The SS Burya. Somehow, the door to the cabin we were in ended up bolted after we made an emergency stop. Zazato-san took a deep breath, then gently slid back the bolt. Was anyone in the other room, though?
Yo, what are you doing, Miss Povla's quarters?
You both look unhurt. Good. Yeah, we're fine. Thank you. What on earth happened? We heard something about how we were going to collide with another ship. Yes, it appears to have been a false report, though. Okay. Oh, how did that happen? There's a dense fog outside, so it's extremely difficult to see. Someone must have thought we saw a ship ahead. This person obviously triggered the alarm, and that's why we made an emergency stop.
Everything is chaos. Passengers are screaming, crew are running everywhere.
This first class area is the only quiet part of the ship at the moment. Oh, I see. Someone triggered the alarm? Does that mean that someone pressed that button outside? You wicked intruder dressed all in black. You are the devil. Sorry, me? I've been called a lot of things before, but devil is a first.
You opened my traveling case. How could you?
What? No, we didn't touch it. That's right, Miss Pavlova. It was already open when we came into your cabin. Why does everyone have a Russian accent right now? Inspector! Yes?
Arrest this man. I know he did it. He is a criminal. It is not enough that he has killed a man.
Duh, he is a stowaway as well. If Vixen promises not to steal chicken, do you believe?
Take him away. He's a trespasser as well as everything else.
Stowing away, trespassing, killing. She is right, you are devil.
It doesn't look good, does it?
There's cell below deck. Throw him in.
Seriously?
Tomorrow we dock in Hong Kong. Then we give you straight to police.
Wait, a cell? Please, Inspector Hasanaga, is there nothing you can do?
This is a Russian vessel. I really have no jurisdiction here. After my last effort to appeal the captain's good nature, I think I'm out of options.
This is terrible.
This is a real crisis. I've got to find a solution. Immediately. Oh man, we're about to get arrested.
Run! Run!
Okay, I can't run. Yeah, I'm stuck here right now. Wait, what did you say? Yeah, I doubt somehow we'll be able to leave here. Okay. Think fast.
What are you doing?
I swear, he's like in a different position every time. It's just so... I love seeing him. I love him. What are you doing up there?
Mr. Sholmes?
Naturally, I was analyzing what a weight of 20,000 rubles feels like on one's head. I have not told you that as a detective, it is my business to know what other people do not. This isn't a mere tomfoolery, my boy. Oh, no. Well, why were you hanging from that hook before then? Isn't it obvious? To properly assess the weight of the 20,000 rubles, naturally. I wish to determine if it would bend that conceited-looking hook on the wall, so full of brag and bounce. I never know whether to take this man seriously or not. Ah, you again. The great detective. Ah, Inspector. I confess I've been looking for you. I have something to report. Your readings, Professor. I have something to report to you most urgently. Well, you may try looking for me somewhere other than the hook on the wall next time.
What is the report? Speak.
An urgent report from a great detective can mean but one thing. Yes, the case of the curious murder that took place last night here on this vessel, the steamship Burya, has been solved. By me, naturally. Oh. What? Really? Yes, I have eliminated all other possibilities. No other explanations exist. So, allow me to illuminate all your minds. For I am about to reveal my great detective's greatly admired great deduction to the case. Alright, here we go.
Ah, you have solved it. Even Hedgehog understands this case. We all knew who was responsible for killing Student Boy this morning when we found criminal in the wardrobe. It is the stowaway. And he has handcuffs to prove it.
That doesn't prove anything at all. That literally proves nothing. I didn't do it! The trouble is, there doesn't appear to be anyone else who could have killed the victim. Because as everyone knows, the cabin door was bolted shut from the inside. No, you're not wrong about that. However, the question is when it was bolted. That means the culprit must be someone who is inside the cabin, not necessarily. Yes, it's what's called a locked room mystery in detective stories.
Duh, locked room. That is point.
The room, it was locked. Well, I can't deny that. There's no way the bolt could have been drawn across from the outside of the cabin. You are all quite mistaken. The cabin next door is not a so-called locked room at all.
What?
Oh yes, there's another entrance. Oh my god. An entrance used last night by the culprits in order to gain access to the cabin, despite the bolted door. What other entrance? We never discovered one. Why, it gapes open-mouthed at you even as we speak. The ventilator, man. The ventilator?
You think this is funny? I cannot even put my arm through that hole.
That's because your arms are as thick as tree trunks. You're suggesting that the culprit entered and left the victim's cabin through that tiny opening? It's not possible. Ah, but it is. And last night, the victim even witnessed the intruder in the act of passing through the ventilator. I guess, if it... Mr. Sholmes, do you mean... Are you referring to the words Kazuma-sama wrote in his diary? 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. what looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. Precisely, my dear madam. But what does it mean? What's this speckled band? The answer to that particular conundrum is in this very cabin. I love it. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? There is a distinct element of danger, but fear not, I am ready. What I am about to expose for you all to see will shock you to your cores. Behold! Yeah! What the... It was a snake. That was it. It was a snake, I was right. Allow me to introduce you all to the band. The Speckled Band. A snake? Indubitably. Yeah, it's a little crazy. No one expected it to be a snake, except for me, because I'm a genius. I think it's gonna kill him, though. Probably, if it... But Mr. Sholmes said it, so it can't be right. I was actually thinking about that. The fact that they brought him in, like, right now, makes me think that it wasn't the snake that killed him. I think the snake was definitely involved. But I think the snake killed him. But I don't think the snake did it on his own. I think there is a real culprit who, like, did something to the snake. I don't know. Mr. Sholmes, one thing. Pray, what troubles you? Well, that snake isn't really speckled. I was also thinking that, too. That's a striped snake. It looks more like stripy, wouldn't you say? Huh? Yes, you're right. I think in this case, you'd have to call it... the Striped Band, wouldn't you? You both see and observe with distinction. However, do you not think that is precisely the trap in which the culprit wishes you to fall? Oh my goodness, really? It's a trap? How exactly? I think perhaps it is time I explain the intricacies of my train of thought. Are you ready, Miss Pavlova? I'm sorry for the young man who died, but that is all. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. And there are two conclusions I have drawn from the facts. Number one, last night, your friend infiltrated the victim's cabin. Ah! And number two, that same friend was responsible for the victim losing his life. Now we know that that is not correct, because Herlock Sholmes said it. Thank you for ruining my train of thought, but I thought of it before him. But now we've got more evidence. No. She's turned as white as a bowl of rice again. Sholmes must be right. He's hit the nail on the head. She wouldn't know that, though. This young woman's friend killed Mr. Asogi? He can't talk. It looks like he can't speak with that snake coiled around his head. I would advise as little movement as possible, Seaman. You wouldn't want the fangs of that long friend in your neck. So, everyone, let us begin. Herlock Sholmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Pipe. My grandfather had a pipe, and he probably still has it. And I remember I put it in my mouth as a joke, and I could like taste tobacco on it. But I don't think he uses it, so I guess tobacco is there for like 30 or so years. Who knows? Also, that looks like a more venomous snake, and not a snake that would kill its prey while wrapping around it. I don't know, man. I don't know. Can't draw any conclusions, since I thought there was the burn mark was the spot of the poison that would go into the dude's arm. But, you know, your great-grandfather had a pipe. Do you own it now? You better. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. Miss Pavlova, moments ago you claimed the following. His death has nothing to do with me. This whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So, we ask, what was the nature of the intruder that stole the victim's cabin? That stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing serpent we see before us. And yet, that fact leaves us in a quandary. Whoa. That snake doesn't have teeth at all. He's kind of cool. The victim's written observations with the knight in question tell of a speckled band, whereas regrettably, this specimen's markings do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we then give, pray? What was this sight that fell upon the victim's eyes last night? Why'd you just hide? No, don't look at me, it has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden behind your back. Oh, that looks more speckled. Yes, that in which you are trying, but failing to conceal, can only be the snake's sloughed skin. I don't know, that seems very convenient, doesn't it? Evidently, after the subtle and horrid crime, this most deadly friend of yours shed its original skin, no? I don't know what you're talking about. Last night, through the ventilator visible in this cabin, your then speckled friend slithered next door. Using the bell cord on the other side as a bridge, the servant silently descended onto the victim's quarters. In the dim light, it appeared that the young gentleman who was about to lose his life was a speckled band. In summary, the nature of this friend of yours, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime. Speckled can't go to striped, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure anything, I don't know anything about snakes, so I don't know what to say about that. It's a rare breed of snake whose markings can change each time it sloughs its skin. Okay, you're an idiot. I'm pretty sure that can't work. A snake so dreadful, we can only imagine would be found in the deepest depth of India. Oh, he's still going. I forgot about that. How Mr. Asogi died. If you say he was bit, I'm gonna I'm gonna stop you there because I think he was strangled. That's what we would be made to believe. But I don't know. Moving on, we come to the heart of the matter, the grim demise of the victim. How did this young man lose his life, and why? According to the data which I have been appraised, it would appear that there were no visible signs of injury. Ah! She looked a little scared there. In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. Nope. Now, if we take that as a fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence to affirm that at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be? I don't think we've ever seen this shot of him. Poor guy. Yes, an examination of the deceased body will prove the cause of death conclusively. The almost, but not quite, imperceptible puncture wounds left by the venomous fangs will seal the truth. Yes, the vestiges of the snake bite delivered by your terrifying friend. This makes no sense. There is no point in feigning ignorance, Miss Pavlova. After the incident, you endeavored to hide everything, didn't you? But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding places you choose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. When we first met in this cabin, it came to my attention that your case moved periodically. Your serpent assassin was restless inside, no doubt. You don't... It is telling that the victim made note of a low whistling sound that he heard minutes before his end. That was your signal, was it not? The sound you had used to train your serpent friend? To train? Indeed. You'd put the serpent through this ventilator and wait. After, you'd summon it back with a whistle. You couldn't know if the animal had done its duty, so you would listen for the signs of life next door. Aren't serpents venomous snakes? I'm not sure anything about snakes, once again. If the victim appeared to have... It could be, but I don't know. The victim... There were no signs of like, puncture or anything, right? So, unless they disappeared, but they wouldn't disappear. I think he got strangled. If the snake did kill him, he got strangled. That's what I think. Because his neck snapped too, so... If the victim appeared to have not been dispatched, you'd release the snake once more. Do you deny the snake has undergone such training? It's not true! Having slithered through the ventilator down to the bell cord, the creature needed to only sink its fangs in once. And its venom would course through the victim's veins, ending his existence forever. That is the true nature of the speckled band that took the poor young man's life. Snake's also not strong enough to break a neck, probably strong enough to suffocate someone. No, because his neck was snapped. Let's see it really quick. Not his diary. It would be this. Damage to the cervical vertebrae, resulting in instant death. The victim's neck was almost certainly broken. See? So his neck was broken. Unless the boat killed him. I don't think the boat killed him. There can be no doubt. My logic is infallible. Death by a venomous snake's bite. What could have also happened is when the boat turned, he could have like hit his head off something and snapped his neck, but I'm not sure. You think it's not the snake? I don't know if it's the snake. I have no idea. Could be someone controlling the. It could be like a not meant. It could be the captain on the ship. We haven't met the captain though, so I don't know. Thus concludes Hillock Sholmes' great deduction of the speckled band. Just deafening silence. Miss Pavlova has trained her pet snake as a killing machine. There on the floor you will observe a saucer of milk. The promise of food is the key to training any creature. Incredible! You've solved the mystery! Amazing, your great deduction really lives up to his name. I see now why Hillock Sholmes has become such a household name. My dear man, It was nothing remarkable. As the Russians say, I could have done it with one left hand. Could I venture an opinion, Mr. Sholmes? But of course. What's on your mind? It's just about your deductions before. Some things don't quite make sense to me. I welcome questions as to my method, and I will answer both loudly and proudly. Oh, well, good. First of all, snakes are egg-laying creatures, part of the reptile family. You are well informed, madam. And reptiles, don't drink milk. Oh. It's really only mammals that like to drink milk, you see. So, I'm not sure it would be possible to train a snake using milk as a reward. No matter, no doubt Miss Pavla used some other treat to encourage her pet to do her bedding. Milk was merely an example, the logic holds. Well, there is something else. Snakes have no ears. Ah! Yes, so I'm not sure it would really be possible to signal a snake by whistling. 1 minute. I'm making a Google. I'm making a Google. Because I thought snakes had little holes. Do snake have ear holes? Ear holes. Snake ear anatomy. Directly behind the eyes, snakes have 2 ears just like any other reptile. They do not have external ears, commonly referred to as ear flaps. Peni, or arcules. But they do have small holes on the side of their head that are ear openings. But can they hear? Honestly, I don't know. But whatever. Oh yeah, I need to do this again. But madam, what are the tales from Arabia? Have you not heard of the snakes that dance to the sounds of a flute? I think perhaps the performers play their music in time with the snake's natural movements. Oh, I see. No hands, no feet, no ears? These creatures are so inept as to be practically useless! Don't take it all out on the snakes, Mr. Sholmes. There is one other thing. You have more? Snakes use the scales on their bellies to propel themselves. So, I'm not really sure that a snake could manage to climb up a flat bell cord like the ones in these cabins. Then it should try harder! Please, don't be angry with me, Mr. Sholmes. The point is, even if the snake had gone through the ventilator to the next door cabin, it couldn't have come back without help. Snakes can hear low notes better than high notes, so they could hear a they wouldn't be able to hear like a whistling of like a kettle or anything. Yeah, okay. What I'm trying to say is that there are a number of reasons why it's difficult to imagine the snake could have a part in this. Wow, he is really devastated, isn't he? No, I think the snake was used. Just not in the way that we think. I think we need to step in and help again, Mr. Naruto. Oh, no, you don't mean... Yes, we need to modify Mr. Sholmes' latest deductions and turn them into great ones they ought to be. I had a feeling that was coming. Alright, let's give it a try. Snakes can hear low notes better than high notes. Oh, yeah, I already read that. What about the milk? Was it milk on the ground? I don't know if it was a bowl of milk. I think it was an empty bowl. I think he was just using milk as an example. Unless there was milk in there. If there was milk in there, then maybe there's another animal. That was said? Okay. Maybe she just likes to drink milk from the floor. It's terrible. I don't know. Just what I was waiting for, Mr. Naruto. Yes, right. Well, everything will come apparent to us when we get more clues. So, cast your eyes down to your wrists again. What? I forgot we had them on, even. You've done it again! Your handcuffs are gone! Where do they go? Fear not. I shall see they have restored after our work is done. I really wish you'd leave them off. Now, everyone, let us begin. Sherlock Holmes is proud to present his logic and reasoning spectacular. Let's do this. Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes. Intruder's identity. Okay. Moments ago you claimed the following. Is that there's nothing to do with me, this whole thing has nothing to do with me. Yet you cannot deceive yourself. Yes. When you recall those horrid events, your aching heart smarts with pain. She's holding her hand. She does have a pained expression on her face. Yes, that's true. She looks as though Kazuma-sama's death is weighing heavily on her mind. But you're not sure Mr. Sholmes has read her quite correctly, is that it? Could there be some other way to interpret her expression, then? Let's take a moment and really look closely at Miss Pavlova. Aching heart, right ear. Yes, that's it, her right ear. Her hand, right? Unless... right ear, her hand, right? When you, your aching heart, right ear? Oh wait, we can, oh! That's right, I forgot we can turn. I love him, he's just chilling there. Whoa, look at that, whoa, we can go all around. Whoa! Who else is here? Look, it's her picture. Where's the snake? She was scratched by something. I think the milk was an animal she had. Maybe the snake wasn't the animal. Maybe the snake is like not a part of it. Well, maybe he is, but maybe the snake ate the culprit. Claw scratch. Oh, Naruto-san, look. That looks like a very painful wound. It looks like a scratch made by some kind of small animal, and fairly recently too. Well, whatever scratched her doesn't appear to be around here. There we go. Yes, when you recall those horrid events, that claw scratch smarts with pain. Indeed, as simple observation reveals that the wound is fresh. Miss Pavlova, did you in fact receive that scratch sometime last night? Yee! When I think about the young man who died next door, I feel so sad. And when I am sad, the pain from this wound is worse. I love the snap. The snap is so clean. It's beautiful. And it is that very pain that evidences your inextricable link to the victim's death. So, we ask, what was the nature of this intruder that stole into the victim's cabin on that portentous night? Why, naturally, it was the friend with which you boarded this vessel with, was it not? Ah, as I suspected, another telltale glance. Without doubt, your friend is the writhing servant we see before us. It's not. It seems likely that the scratch mark on the back of Miss Pavla's hand was made by this friend of hers, doesn't it? Except, snakes don't have claws, do they? No, they don't. They don't even have hands or feet in which claws might grow. Can you imagine a snake with really tiny hands? Just like... God, that'd be terrifying. Why do I have so many notifications? Oh, it's because I have... Because I'm getting added by things. Hang on. I said to check DMs. Well then, if that snake isn't her pet, what is? What is the true identity of this friend of hers? We should follow her gaze, Naruto-san. That's where we'll find the answer. Okay, Oh, a cat. There's a cat. She had a cat. Ah, look at the photograph in this frame. This must be something Miss Pavlova brought with her when she ran away. That is an adorable cat. Oh my god. She's extremely beautiful, isn't she? Yes, that's true. But personally, it's the little black creature she's holding that's caught my eye. Maybe we'd better take a closer look at this. Little kitten! Oh! Yes! That's so cute. Maybe you shouldn't glance around too much. Just close your eyes, you'll be good. Without doubt, your friend is the little kitten we see before us. Yes, the scratch on the back of your hand makes that abundantly clear. Oh no. The whereabouts of this black kitten isn't clear, but what is clear is that you brought the animal with you when you ran away, didn't you? I hope the cat didn't get eaten. Darka's my best friend. I couldn't leave her behind. Darka would appear to be a Russian blue. A Russian blue! And yet, the fact leaves us in a quandary. See how I saved that? The victim's written observations on the night in question tell of a speckled band, whereas, regrettably, that is not speckled. This specimen's marking do not fit that description in any way. What explanation can we give thee? Give thee? What? Give, pray? What was this that fell upon the victim's eye? No, don't look at me. It has nothing to do with any of this. Oh, but it does. You have the answer to this quandary even now, hidden beneath your back. So that would be... What is that, though? Could it be like a collar? No, that's not a collar. Did you see that? She just took something out of her pocket and hid it behind her back. Why would she do that? That really... That incriminates you very much. Why would you take it out of your pocket? If she just left it in her pocket, that's what I know. Oh yes, ploys like this are Mr. Shum's specialty. He's ever so cleverly forced her to reveal something. I thought deduction was his specialty. Or maybe making me believe that was a ploy too. Ain't she 15? She is 15. Anyway, I find it hard to believe that this is the skin of a snake. In which case, just what is Miss Pavlova hiding... Or Pavlova hiding behind her back? What is that even? Oh, it's a cat toy. It's a cat toy. Look at that. That is a cat toy. Young and stupid. 15 isn't that young, is it? Well, it is pretty young, but not. I wouldn't say stupid. No, actually, no. Anyone can be stupid. That's a. What am I saying? Anyone can be stupid. Like, I don't know. 30-year-olds could be stupid. Well, it's speckled and it is a band, but what is it? It seems to be soft and fluffy, a long piece of cloth of some sort, and that looks like a handle at the end. I think it may be a cat's toy. This sort is common in the West, apparently. How is it a toy for cats? Cats like to chase this band around and paw at it. Kittens in particular love that sort of play. You only need to wave it in front of them, and they'll pounce to catch it. Most people never become wise. I wouldn't say that. I say people are smart. I don't know how many. There isn't like a census on are you dumb or smart? That sounds positively adorable. Or shall I say positively. Cat's toy. Gotcha. Yes! Yes, the third, what? The thing you're trying but failing to conceal is, a cat's toy. Precisely. Okay, that was a bad one. And the true nature of the now infamous speckled band. And it was this toy that you dangled through the ventilator. You waved it around, I presume. Naturally, the victim could not fail to notice it. But why? For what reason? The cat was in the room, was it? I'm guessing the cat, like, went into the room and she tried to get him out, probably? My dear boy, there can only be one answer to that. After her furlong friend disappeared through the ventilator into the neighboring cabin, Miss Pavlova attempted to use the speckled cat's toy to incite the creature to return. Ah. In summary, the nature of this friend of Miss Pavlova's, which last night infiltrated the scene of the crime, is a blithesome Russian blue breed of cat by the name of Darka. No, I don't know, because he didn't mention a cat. Kazuma, or I guess that it. Why didn't Kazuma mention a cat, though? Unless it was after the... No, it was before. No, because he saw it dangling. So what is it? A truly troublesome feline young Duck has proven to be. She must be caged once found. You will forgive us for borrowing the photography of your pet, Miss Pavlova. Okay. It's all coming together. It is, except I'm still a bit confused about the cat. Because where is the cat now? And... like, what happened? The cat didn't kill Kazuma. There's no way the cat killed Kazuma. It was after I gave her food last night. That's when it happened. She scratched the back of my hand and then ran up the bell cord. Before I could do anything, she had disappeared through the ventilator. Darka, she is so naughty. Our beloved kitten. That's adorable. Where's the cat now? Yes, how did he die? That is the question. Because the cat didn't do it. Moving on, we came to the heart of the matter. The grim demise of the victim. Unless it was the snake. How did this young man lose his life, and why? I don't think she killed him. According to the data of which I have been appraised, it would appear that there is no visible signs of injury. No, you are confused. Ah! Did you do it? In fact, the circumstances of the victim's death can only be explained by a terrible venom. No. What Mr. Shome says is true. There were no signs of a wound anywhere on Kazuma-sama's body. That's right. Mr. Shome seems to be unaware of one very important detail. Kazuma... Whoa, sorry, I burped. I burped again. I guess it's a hungry burp. Kazuma wasn't poisoned. Yes, it would seem so. Let's give him the information he's missing now. It can only be explained by a terrible venom. No, yeah, I guess this. Yeah. Taste of poison.
Yes!
I forgot that the new Pog was like a lizard snake thing. No, that's a lizard. That's not a snake. I guess it kind of fits. In fact, the circumstance of the victim's death can only be explained by the post-mortem report. Oh yes, I knew it was one or the other. His neck was... Indeed, the breaking of the cervical vertebrae is fatal. Only that Goliath would be strong enough to survive that. Seaman Stroganov isn't some immortal freak, you know. The jury is out anyways. We have good authority that the victim's neck was broken. Now, if we take that as a fact, we can reasonably imagine that there remains evidence that affirmed at the scene of the crime. Oh no, could there be... There's also the writing. He had time to write, so he didn't die instantly. Yes, an explanation of the deceased body will prove the cause of death. Kazuma died because his neck was broken. In other words, he was probably struck by something. Or someone. Yes, that's a distinct possibility. As of yet, no weapon has been found, though. Presumably, Darka didn't silently creep up behind Kazuma and deal him a fatal blow. I suppose it's possible that he had to fall and hit the ground awkwardly. It could have been a terrible act of misfortune that he broke his neck completely by accident. Oh yeah, a bad fall could explain it. I was thinking that too. That was also a possibility I thought of. It's rather hard to believe Kazuma-sama, though. He wasn't a clumsy man. Well, we need to fix this deduction somehow. Is there anything from the scene that could explain what happened? All I can think of, really, an examination of the deceased body will prove that there's the mark on the floor. I guess it'd be the mark on the floor, because I was thinking this, but that doesn't show anything. That doesn't tell us anything. Hang on. So, I'm thinking it would be this, right?
Yes!
Let's try this. Mark on floor. Alright, we got it. Yes! An examination of the mark on the floor will prove the cause of death conclusively. This particular mark, so prominently visible next to the victim's body, is a deposit of shoe polish. Shoe polish? Indeed, positively identified by a little analysis device I constructed, which I carry now as a matter of course. Beeswax, tallow, and dye were my results, the undeniable ingredients of shoe polish. That was a good transition. And the color of the polish is a perfect match for the color of Mr. Asogi's laced leather boots. Looking at this mark, it's not hard to imagine what happened. For some reason, as Mr. Asogi must have caught his foot at that point on the floor and tripped. Please, no. Why is she like this, though? Like, what's going on? Did he trip over the cat? No. Why is there a snake on board? Hang on, there's a lot of things that are kind of weird. And by a dreadful turn of misfortune, cut his neck against some immovable object as he fell to the floor. Suffering a fatal blow to the spine, the victim's vertebrae shattered, and in that instant, he lost his life. No, what do you mean no? She knows something. I don't know. Oh, well, I just said, okay, I'm sorry. I don't know anything about this. No, you obviously do know something. Is that really true, Miss Pavlova? No, you know something. What about the evidence left at the scene where Mr. Asogi lost his life? Yes, the facts are as clear as day to me. You did all you could to conceal the incriminating evidence. But now your involuntary glance betrays the hiding place you chose. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that traveling case. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama's merely tripped over and now he's no more? It can't be true. I refuse to accept it. I know it's hard to believe, but the mark on the floor does seem to suggest that's what happened. But, and if this part of Mr. Shom's deduction is right, Miss Pavlova is trying to hide some evidence that would prove it. Here in this cabin, somewhere in the direction that she just cast her eyes. Where, I wonder? Let's have a good look around. The answer must be here somewhere. The tiara? Oh, hang on. Oh, there's something in there. This is a wastepaper basket. Perhaps all the first-class cabins have them. But Miss Pavlova only started occupying this cabin late last night. Presumably there's not much rubbish in there yet. Yeah. The bell. The cat's bell. That belongs to the cat. Has to. Oh, what's that? It's a broken piece of glass, isn't it? Yes, it is. And I feel like I've seen it somewhere before. If it looks familiar, perhaps it's more than your mind simply playing tricks on you. It is. It's the, Yes! That's the cat's bell. And he tripped on I was gonna call him Mr. Asogi. What? No. Kazuma. He slipped on the cat's bell. That's right. You hid the evidence that links you to the victim's death in that wastepaper basket. Ah! Here we have a fragment of some intricate glass object. It would seem one that has a familiar air, in fact. Precisely. We found another piece of broken glass on the floor in Mr. Asogi's cabin. And as you can see, the two pieces fit together perfectly. Oh no. So, Miss Pavlova, shall we consider what this tells us? Why would it be that a part of this glass object, which was evidently broken at the scene of the victim's death, should be found in the wastepaper basket in your cabin? Kya! You're well acquainted with this glass bell, are you not? I don't know. And that hushed Russian accent of yours won't save you this time, dear girl. Why? Because we have conclusive evidence linking you to the bell in question. What? Take it away, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes. The evidence linking Miss Pavlova and the little glass bell would be the image of the cat. If you look at this photograph, you can clearly see, hanging from darkest collar, the the very glass bell in question. The truth has caught up with you, Miss Pavlova. The young man who lost his life last night did so after a truly inauspicious fall. And the cause of that fateful stumble? Your absent feline friend, Darka. Man. I couldn't tell anyone. I'm sorry. Wow. Really? Was that... Wow. That's how he died? Wow. Elementary. That's kind of... That sucks. For him to die like that? Why don't you tell us now, Miss Pavlova? Tell us exactly what happened last night. Oh, man. It was a little after 1 in the morning. It was so late, but I hadn't had time to feed Darka, so I gave her some food. And then, all of a sudden, she scratched me and jumped out of my hands. People do say that cats become very anxious and nervous in new environments. She was so fast, she disappeared through the ventilator before I could stop her. And that is how you acquired that nasty wound on the back of your hand, I take it? Yes. And I had read the rules on the wall. I knew that I was not allowed Darka with me. Yes, modern science suggests that animals can carry infectious diseases. It's a precaution, really. So I listened and listened, trying to hear if there was some noise in the next cabin. It was very quiet. I was sure if someone was there, he must have been sleeping. So can humans. Well, yeah, humans can too. I mean, especially now. I don't want to drop any names because I don't do that on stream, but COVID-19. Yes, humans can spread diseases. It was very quiet. I was sure someone was there, so he must have been sleeping. So at that point, you thought... Wait. So at that point, you thought it was safe to try and lure the kitten back again, by dangling the end of this toy through the ventilator and onto the adjoining cabin. Darka always loves this toy, but it didn't work. Nothing worked. I tried using her favorite toy. I tried whistling to her softly, but nothing. She didn't return. So the faint whistling Kazuma wrote about in his diary was Miss Pava trying to retrieve her pet. Cats have a propensity to remain hidden in the shadows when frightened. Yes, so there was nothing else I could do. I just had to wait until she had calmed down. But then... Wow. What's the trial gonna be like for this one, then? Or will there be a trial? I guess there has to be a trial, but... I assume the trial won't be as long. That's what I think. I don't even know. I nearly passed out with shock. I heard her cry out, and then... Oh, it was such a dreadful bang. Then afterwards, nothing. It was totally silent. Kazuma was... From the appearance of the brown mark on the floor, it seems like that was what you heard. That what you heard was the victim stepping on the glass bell and tripping up. The SS Burya is a large vessel, but even she can pitch and roll violently without warning. If Mr. Asogi was already off balance as a result of the ship lurching when the kitten got under his feet, the combination of unfortunate factors could easily have caused him to fall over. Man. But what became of the kitten afterwards? That's what I want to know. In the end, I managed to get her to come back through the ventilator. Yet Darka is nowhere to be seen. I must have forgotten to lock my case, and now she's disappeared again. Something doesn't feel right. Yeah, I don't know. Oh my... like, saliva, man. Saliva. You gotta love it. You gotta love human factors. Ugh. I don't know. Yeah, I think, like, the writing on the ground. That's true. What did it mean, wardrobe? I don't know. I guess we'll see as time goes ahead. Gracious, that cat is insufferably restless as I am. Well, he knows something about himself, at least. Well, when I woke this morning, I heard that the young man in the cabin next to mine had died, but I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone what happened. I was too scared. Scared that they would send me back. Oh, hold on a minute. What about the snake? You're right. Where is it? Uh-oh. If the snake isn't your friend, Miss Pavlova, then whose is it, and where did it come from? Where on earth is such a dangerous snake creature doing on board the ship? He seems to like him. Oh, I didn't say. Snake is my friend. His name is Pirozko. Huh? What? What? That snake belongs to you. He escaped from cage when the emergency alarm sounded. I was looking for him. I did not expect to find him here. Yes, how did that snake get into this cabin? But animals are not permitted on board. We are at sea for 1 year. You want me to go so long without my close friend, without someone who understands? Couldn't you find someone a little more human who understands you better? No. You don't know. You don't know, Ryunosuke. You don't know. Pets are awesome. Pets are the best. My little boy, Finn, he's awesome. I love him. My little pup, he's not a pup anymore. He's like 5. No, he's not. He's 6 years old. So that's like, he's roughly 38 years old in dog years. So, but my dear burly fellow, a gargantuan venomous snake. Surely you can appreciate the danger you're putting everyone in. No venom. Huh? Fiesco does not have venom. He is harmless. Very long, but very gentle. He's adorable, like Granny. It's venomless? Yes. Now he is hungry, so he is in bad mood. But once I feed him, you will see big smile. And you feed him what? Milk, I suppose? Like they say, like they milk chickens. Ridiculous. Snakes that drink milk are only in stupid stories. Pirotsko eats mouses. Big fat round mouses. Oh. So, is that what the mousetrap in the passageway out there is for? Of course. How else can I catch my friend's favorite food? Nothing says top of the food chain like the look in their eyes right now. Sholmes is devastated right now. He's very upset. It refuses to drink milk, it can't hear a whistle, it can't climb up a bell cord, and it's not even venomous. How the deuce did something so inept land a starring role? It's not my fault, I do not make up stories. My fifth score is nothing to do with this situation. So that's what happened. That's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. It can't be. There's something else. There's got to be something else. Miss Pavlova? I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But what are you talking about, Miss Mitsukaba? What lies? Miss Pavlova just confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events, an accident. But was it really? I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Oh, snap. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? To be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. What about this? What about that? Something happened. Something big happened, and we don't know what it was. It could have been the ship moving. I'm not exactly sure about that. I confess, I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on this matter. Oh! I am only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruto, are simply a distraction. A distraction? I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. We're back. Oh, not again! When did he do that? Especially as they're on your wrists as a result of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Yes, Kazuma was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom, even. Actually true. Without him, we would have been arrested. In that case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the real truth here, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story, I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died. About how that scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Naruhodo. So then, shall we begin? Yes. What we should ponder first is the victim who lost his life in a cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. Was this truly an unfortunate event, or was it in fact no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. But we have already established it, haven't we? The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense that if that's really what happened, does it? I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. The evidence is right here in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Really? Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhodo. Time to present the evidence. The evidence that proves this unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident. I think it would be the writing, wasn't it?
Yes!
I think it's the writing, right? The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. That script, it's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would never leave a dying message in their native language, Japanese in this case. But maybe he was just studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast. That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry, what do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There's no way that Mr. Asogi could have left this message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the cerebral vertebrae resulting in instant death. Instant death. Ah? Oh, snap. It was her. She did do it. She did it. It was her. It was her. She saw me in the wardrobe, and she was like, alright, here we go, let's write this. And then she dabbed it, like the ink, in his finger, and went... Which means after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything, because he was already dead. Why would you do that? That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asogi's cabin. A remnant of something that couldn't possibly have been there if what what Pavlova told us was true. What? So, Zazato-san has noticed it too then. Putting this message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words, I don't know. Here we go again. No, another hour. No, it won't take me an hour. It'll be good. Another piece of evidence that proves this was no accident. In other words... No entries from 2 AM until early this morning. Oh yeah. Yeah, I think it would be this because he didn't... Because if the cat took the bell and No, I got this. Because there's one piece of the bell in the room, and the other piece was in the other room. Yes! Has to be this. There's no way it would bring back one. There's absolutely no way. This piece of broken glass next to the mark in the floor. But that's the glass bell the kitten has around its neck. We already know about that. It was broken in half when the victim tripped over the cat and fell. So we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there's a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. A fatal fury. That was stupid. If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in the cabin? Ah! Yes, remember that if we found the other half of the glass bell in the waste paper basket... Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no. Both of these pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asogi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. And that same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth, in order to cover up his or her own guilt. Yeah! Yes, there was someone else present in Mr. Asogi's...
You're wasting time! Someone else was there. Duh, of course, we knew this.
What are you talking about?
Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out. Oh, yeah, yes. And the only other person in cabin was young student when died was you.
Yes! Yes, that's right. It was only me. It's true. I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise, about the details. I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message. Not to be precise about the details. Would you mind? Forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor, in an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep there the entire time. And then, the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor, for fear of it becoming evidence that would somehow Mr. Asogi really died. But wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? Leaving half was behind was going to raise questions. Yes, well, it was past 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. Hey, the single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would have barely cast any light on the floor over there. I don't know about that one. Little wonder then that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of a tiny item. Well, you all suspect me, don't you? Yes, we all suspect you. You're the clear suspicion, unless it's this guy, and I don't think this guy did anything. I just realized he's got like lines over his face, and I saw that earlier, and I was like, that's kind of weird, and then I just realized it's because he has the snake on him all the time. That's really funny. Seaman Stroganov.
Nena is woman of seed. She is daughter of strong sailor.
What?
2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills and she went to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, a member of ship's band. You do not accuse ship's angel of breaking criminal.
Ah, so that's it.
You say that when young student died, Nena was there in this cabin. That is not possible. I give my tooth.
Well, this is all most interesting. And why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure?
You are a great detective, you should know. Look truth in eyes, cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into cabin, not Nena, no one. Or you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Yet, it is impossible.
Ah, he's right. No, it's not. No. But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so they can open and close them from the outside.
Thread? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors.
It was when the ship moved, because I think the ship did move. That wasn't confirmed, but I'm pretty sure the ship did move earlier. Certainly not. These are watertight doors, as one would expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel, with not a gap in sight. No threads or needles or magnets could have been used. No, of course not. I thought so too, but Mr. Naruto suggested it earlier, so... Zazato-san, how could you shift onto me like that? So Seaman Stroganov has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily.
What?
I put it to you that I could build this cabin door without laying a finger on it. And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have had in mind having been used before.
I don't believe it.
Well, Mr. Naruto, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? A way to shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside. One way does spring to mind, yes? Do you really know what Mr. Shrooms means now, Mr. Naruto? Yes, and so should you. Because we've seen it happen. Indeed we have. So, would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruto? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door. Alright. It was the... Oh, it's not going to show me. It's not going to show me a crosshair, is it? No, it's not. It's going to be mean. Alright, it was this, though.
Yes!
And the boat moved. Look at the bookcase over there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over? That must have happened when the ship made its emergency stop before.
Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel, after all.
When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes across the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over. I believe, yes, it's what's known as the Force of Inertia acting on the objects. Hey, Kobe, how's it going? Thanks for putting your name in the... You just wrote Kobe less. Yeah, as your message. That's okay though. That's great. That's great. I love it. I love to see it. Is there something Zazato-san doesn't know, or that isn't there in her book at least? Well, whatever it's called, the same force that pushed over the books on the bookcase also made something else in this cabin move. The bolt on the cabin door. Ah! It was very obvious just after the emergency stop that the ship made earlier. We had come into this cabin not long before, and we hadn't bolted the door. But then...
Hello, is anybody there? Shout if you need assistance.
Oh wait, that's Mr. Hasanaga. Oh wait, that's... the Inspector. Inspector Hasanaga. Oh yes! That's it! When the ship stopped suddenly, the bolt flew across the locked door. Yes, it's made of metal, but it's small and light enough to be moved by the ship's sudden change of speed. Or the force of Inertia, if you want to call it that. Are you trying to say that last night Mr. Asogi was killed? Yep, and then the door locked. The SS Burya made another emergency stop! When I woke up this morning and looked around the cabin, I thought it looked a little odd. All the books on the shelves had toppled over, and all the ornaments. It was almost as if someone had run their hand across the shelves and deliberately knocked everything over. Oh yes, I remember that. And I stood them all up again, didn't I? Then when we came into this cabin, we were surprised to see the same thing here. All the books and everything had to be toppled over, just like Mr. Asogi's cabin. Oh my! Do you have anything to say about this, Miss Pavlova?
Are you out of your mind? You say Burya made emergency stop?
It does seem a little far-fetched. How could that possibly have happened? Unless you're saying that the culprit is actually someone from the engine room. Oh, it is simple enough. Hmm? Are you forgetting the button in the passageway outside? Used to trigger the emergency alarm? Yes. Oh yes, of course. There was a notice, wasn't there? Telling you only had to press the button in times of emergency. Although, how would she know that, though? How would she know that that would lock the door? That begs another question. On dark nights when the fog is dense, the captain cannot afford to rely on the eyes of his lookout alone. Hence the placement of a number of buttons along the vessel to allow any of the crewmen to raise the alarm. The sort of button one is almost compelled to press to satisfy one's curiosity. Those who have been on a ship... Oh, that's true! Yes, she was on the ship for a long time. Forgot about that. Wait, it was you? When the button is pressed, two things happen in the interest of safety. The emergency alarm bell rings, and the vessel comes to a complete stop. As indeed it did a little earlier today. Mr. Sholmes, surely it wasn't you who... No. As I always say, a button has but one purpose in life. To be pressed. Wait, he did press it? He did! He almost looks like he's proud of himself. How dare you mess with the ship? I report you to cabin. You're in much trouble now. God, you fool. Now, I'm sure that can wait until later. Let us not overlook the fact that we have now learned a valuable lesson. When the vessel makes an emergency stop, the bolts on the cabin door slid closed. Oh wait, he did that last time. Okay, so the first time it was hit was probably her, but the second time was definitely him. The bolts on the cabin doors slide closed. So, what we must now consider... Yes, it all comes down to one thing now. Last night, after what happened to Mr. Asogi, did this ship make an emergency stop, or did it not?
You're idiot! Burya is huge ship with many passengers. If we make emergency stop, even in the middle of night, there would be chaos everywhere.
What are your thoughts, Mr. Naruto? Well, it's certainly possible that some kind of emergency happened last night. We have evidence to support that idea. Really? What evidence, Mr. Naruto? I know exactly what it is. Fascinating. Do show us, my good man. What evidence promotes the theory that some emergency grabbed this vessel last night? See, whenever I say I know it, I'm always like, uh-oh. Hang on, I need to loop around because... apparently, like, I need to. It's just a thing. I can't go... I gotta go with the thing. Anyways, it's a ship's log. Because nothing was shown after. Seaman Stroganov, it's your duty to patrol the first-class area of the ship. Isn't that right?
Da, that is correct.
Why? And the ship's log here. This would be where you record the details of your duties.
What are you doing with that? That is mine.
Ah, you rather carelessly left it atop the little makeshift bureau in the passageway out there. And we stole it. But as responsible passengers, we took it into our care with the mind to return it to you later.
I left it there on purpose. It is where I put it. Always.
The point is, looking at what you usually record, it's clear that under normal circumstances, you write the phrase nothing to report every 30 minutes. But from 2 o'clock last night until the first light this morning, nothing was recorded at all. Nothing recorded in the log?
That is... Duh! Because nothing happened!
But if nothing happened, you would normally write nothing to report, wouldn't you?
Oh.
So did he did it. It's one of them. Indeed so, which tells us that shortly after 2 a.m., something happened. Here aboard the SS Burya. Oh, so who was it? We don't know who was it. It was one of them. Something significantly significant to make you forget to fill in the ship's log, in fact. Are you suggesting that the ship really did make an emergency stop in the middle of the night?
Stop talking rubbish!
If I'm perfectly honest, I find that a little hard to believe myself. Oh, why? Well, because if something as major as an emergency stop really had happened, surely all of us would have noticed. That's very true. Thanks to the emergency stop we exposed earlier, we know what it feels like now. Is there always one culprit in this game? That's a little lame. What do you mean? What do you mean always one culprit? Yes, there's... yes, what? Always one? If there's none, then this would be boring. Thanks to the emergency stop. Okay. The ship had lurched so violently, and the alarm bell was so loud. I can't imagine that anybody would sleep through that, even if it happened in the dead of night. Well, no. That's a good point. Unless the alarm didn't happen. What of the throbbing? Sorry? What do you mean? Your head, man. The throbbing of your head since this morning. We have all suffered with it. I meant that if there were multiple, I guess it makes you uninterested in these games. What? That two people... No, hey, no. I don't want to spoil anything, but in one of the games, there are... Well, yeah, there's one case I can think. I think it's one of my favorite cases. It's one where there's technically two culprits. Technically. Too linear and predictable? What? I don't agree with that. Nope, I don't agree with that. Too linear and predictable. So, no. That's what makes it unpredictable. If there's something that happens, then you're like, oh, what is it? Oh, yes. I've had a headache, you're right. In fact, I haven't had the feeling myself since I woke up today. Nor have I. My head has been feeling heavy ever since dawn. Yes, you've all been afflicted, haven't you? Just as I suspected. He's right. My head's been throbbing today, too. And since eating dinner yesterday evening, everything has felt sort of hazy. I can't really remember anything that happened after I climbed back inside the wardrobe. And the first thing I noticed this morning was the throbbing pain in my head. I'd already been dragged out of the wardrobe and had those handcuffs put onto me by that point. Why didn't I wake up when all this was happening to me? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo. You boarded this vessel as a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, well, yeah, sorry. The stowaway class of accommodation doesn't usually include meals. What did you survive on? Oh, well, Kazuma looked after me. He was always happy to share his meals. So you enjoyed some of the whole roast chicken dish that was served yesterday evening, I take it? Yes, in fact, I had all of that. Kazuma wasn't fond of chicken. Oh, really? So the victim didn't eat any of the chicken at all? That's right. He didn't touch it. Is that relevant? My dear fellow, does that not strike you? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, do you mean to say that there was something wrong with the chicken? There's nothing wrong with the chicken. What are you saying? You're insane. I do. No! Really? Is that really true? The meal prepared for the passengers last night had been tampered with. What the... What? 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 Tampered? What? Tampered with by the addition of a sulfuric designed to include a very deep slumber within those who consumed it. What the... What? What? How? What? What? A sleeping drug? Do you mean whoever did this laced every meal with a sleeping drug so no one would notice the ship's emergency stop? Mr. Naruhodo, of course that's not what Mr. Sholmes means. What a far-fetched idea! Precisely. Lacing every meal of every passenger on board with a sulfuric drug would certainly be impossible. Unless, that is, every single member of the crew was a conspirator. Oh my god, everyone is involved. Well, Seaman.
Well, Seymour.
I'm sorry to say that any more deception in this matter will get you nowhere. If you refuse to talk, there would have been an inquiry made through the shipping company, of course. And were that to happen, every member of the crew, and the captain himself, would be hauled over the coals. For aiding and abetting a renegade. Whoa. Please, no more. I will tell everything. Yeah? I cannot make problems like this. For everyone anymore. These crewmen are your former comrades, I believe. Yes. So when I decided to run away, I asked them to help me. We all agreed to help everyone together. She threw away everything. Her fame in the ballet, Mother Russia. We wanted to help our angel. I don't believe it. You are right. We put sleeping drug in chicken last night. Yes, I remember now. I did not notice, or I did notice chewing on a lump of something strange and bitter at one point. We could not make all drug. How do you say? Dissolve? Talk about heavy seasoning. At midnight in waters near Shanghai, we brought our angel on board. She was helped by comrade on shore with small fishing boat. Where all the passengers of the SS Beria slept soundly. Thanks to the almost magical effects of the slumber-inducing potion after the evening meals had contained. That's kind of crazy. So, if that's what happened, the only people awake on the ship last night were the crew, people who dislike chicken, and the newly boarded passenger, Miss Pavlova. Wow. And that means it would have been possible for you. You could have used the emergency stop to use the emergency stop trick to lock Kazuma's cabin door. Technically, everyone on board's an accomplice. Rather, the sailors on board are accomplices. But how does that make sense? Surely every cabin door would have ended up locked in that case. Then there would have been complete chaos. Oh, I wouldn't say so. What? Of course. Just like all of us, other passengers would have eaten their evening meal of chicken in their cabins. After which they would have been overwhelmed by tiredness because of the sleeping drug. Quite. And accordingly, all passengers were already in their cabins for the night. Yes! The overwhelming majority of passengers would habitually sleep within their cabin doors bolted anyways, so none of them would have found it remarkable to find the door locked in the morning. In summary, in order to fasten the bolt of a single cabin door on the ship, the culprit brought the entire vessel to an emergency stop in the early hours of the evening. Wow. You have talked long time and said many things. What is point? The point is what I said earlier. There was somebody else present on the scene when the victim lost his life last night. Someone who left a message in Russian on the floor in the attempt to incriminate another. Someone who tried desperately to hide the broken fragments of glass that would reveal the culprit's identity. And someone who abused the ship's emergency stop procedure in order to lock a door. All told, a busy night. But... I don't know about any of this. I'm just a little girl. You like to speak with your long English words and explain your clever ideas. But I am sailor, and sailors don't listen to long, boring stories we don't believe. Sailors like me, we trust only what we see with our eyes. So it's one of them. A laughable trait. What? I am quite of the same disposition, my good man. Observation to me is everything. Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes. Yeah, do you hear it? That accusatory cry of guilt in the wind. What accusation? What accusatory cry of guilt? Sorry, you've lost me. Proof of involvement, man. You can't hear such a call with your ears. No, you must hear it with your eyes, for observation is the basis of all deduction. That's right. What are you talking about? I believe the time has come. for one final logic and reasoning spectacular. To expose the truth. Oh man. So, Mr. Naruhodo, your assistance, if you please. With what exactly, Mr. Sholmes? With observation, my dear fellow, just as I said. One of these two observation? If you remember, Mr. Naruhodo, we know that somebody tried to fabricate evidence, don't we? By tampering with the scene of Mr. Asogi's death. What we're looking for is some trace of evidence that one of these two has there when it happened. Precisely. You are delightfully quick to grasp my meaning. Alright, I'll see what I can see. So we're looking for a trace of evidence that shows someone else was there the night Kazuma died. What suggests someone was there at the crime? Chunky arms. Sailor's hat. Right ear and left ear. She's got different earrings on. But, oh, whoa, 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 whoa! How did I not see that there? Oh, look at this! It's some kind of stain in an unusual place. Yes, you're right. It looks like ink, if I'm not mistaken. Ink. And look at that color, too. It's clear where this came from. Yeah. Let's grab it. Blank. Gotcha. And he fell. He fell into it. Seaman Stroganoff, you seem to have quite a large purple stain on the back of your white uniform there. Eh? Oh, yes. I don't know where the dirt comes from. So nothing in particular comes to mind about the stain. What are you trying to say? It would appear that the significance of the stain has escaped your attention, Seaman. Allow us to make it plain. It's a very large purple stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform, and I think what has made it clear. Indeed, it is. So, Mr. Naruhodo, present the evidence that proves it. My pleasure. All right then, the evidence that proves the stain on the back of Seaman Stroganoff's uniform really is. Okay, there's no other picture, so it has to be this.
Yes!
I'm killing this one. Yes, it's the photograph and the ink it shows. That's what caused the stain on your uniform. Ink. A rather unusual color of ink, purple. Oh. Ah, the penny drops at last. Now you see the significance. The Russian word on the floor next to the victim's body was written in purple ink. And the stain on the back of your uniform is ink of exactly the same color. If the ink had been dry, it couldn't possibly have stained your uniform in that way. Which means you must have been present in the cabin in the moments immediately after the ink was spilt. Alright, yes, it was me. I did it. Everything. I arranged everything in dead student's cabin to make it look like Wardrobe Man did it. Then I pressed button to make Burya do emergency stop and both cabin doors shut. I did everything so no one should suspect our angel. Beef, please. Don't worry, Angel. Let me do talking. It was after 1 in the morning. I was on duty patrolling passageway. Then our angel came to me. She was white like sheet.
Beef, please, you must help me.
I went with her. The door to cabin number was open. I looked inside. I saw student boy on the floor. What happened here?
So did she do it?
Please, don't tell anyone.
She did do it.
My little one. My little furry friend.
Everything that happened in cabin is like Angel told you. Little kitten escaped through ventilator. Wait, the little kitten escaped through the ventilator, into Mr. Asogi's cabin. Then he tripped over and broke his neck where he fell on the floor. Yes, that is right.
So after the incident with the cat ran away, Miss Pavlova, I can't say it, I swear, then visited the cabin next to hers, only to find it's a occupant lying lifeless on the floor. So it did kill him. Okay. She said she was worried when she heard sound of something falling to the floor. That's when she went to look. No, Angel. No, Angel. The door was not locked, so she opened and looked, and you already know what happened after.
There's just one thing, if you wouldn't mind.
What?
When you went to Mr. I can't. Every accent is merging into one, I swear. When you went to Mr. Asogi's cabin, Miss Pavlova, was he already dead? Why?
I already told you. When Nina opened the door of the student's cabin and looked inside,
I was asking Miss Pavlova. Well, Miss Pavlova?
Da.
Oh. Yes, that is right. I saw him. It was dark, and he was wearing black, but he was on the floor, not moving. I was scared.
Man.
I understand, and I believe you.
So is that finally it now? Have we discovered the real truth about Kazuma's death at last?
Ah! Something very nearly slipped my mind.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes?
This photograph.
Yes, I took it myself, you know.
The cause of death was a broken neck. Therefore, the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten, on which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph that seems somewhat unnatural.
What do you mean unnatural?
What are your thoughts on the matter, Mr. Naruto? Oh, well. If Kazuma tripped and fell, by some terrible stroke of bad luck on his neck, which part of this photographic print seems unnatural? If he slipped and broke his neck, I don't know. I mean, could it be? Can I read the? Hang on. I see the history. However, okay, hang on. The photograph, I took it myself. The cause of death was a broken neck, therefore the victim died instantly. And the unfortunate incident that precipitated these events, a kitten, in which the victim stumbled. However, if those are the facts, there's one particular area in this photograph that seems somewhat unnatural. If the kitten fell, or the kitten didn't fall, he fell. I don't know. I don't know. If he slipped on a kitten, let me play this in my head. He was walking, slipped over a kitten. Truly, if I read the details. Well, there's the ink bottle. And there's also this here. thinking noises. What? Okay, I'm gonna read it again. This photo I took of myself. The cause of death was a broken neck. The victim died instantly. The fortunate incident that preceded these events, a kitten, which the victim stumbled. However, if these are the facts, there is one particular area in this photograph. Seems to be somewhat unnatural. Unnatural. What is unnatural? Immediately, my thought goes to the writing. What is it? Him? I'm gonna figure this out. Does it have to do with his hand? Or is that he's like left-handed or something? Instant death. The victim's neck was broken. A strong blow? I don't know. Just screw it. His neck. It must. No, it wasn't here. Shut up. Don't. Just shut up. I don't need you. A crucial point. It can be helpful to keep your eyes open. They were open. Yeah, I know. But look, I swear, if it's what, it can be equally helpful to use them. Sorry, yo. Try that. Yes, unnatural. I think it's plain what Mr. shows me about unnatural, isn't it? The word written in a foreign language underneath his fingertip. Surely. A particular culprit. No, I mean to identify another point. Imagine, if you will, losing your footing yourself. Would you land as the victim has? What of your hands? I don't know. You think okay, let me go and fall right now. If I was walking, I'd go, whoa! My arm would probably fall, and my arm would be under my hand, right? It would be like under me. You look at the regular. This should be an easy task. Thanks. So his hand. His hand, right?
Yes.
Alright, if he really fell due to an unfortunate accident, then his fist just doesn't seem quite right. The exact same thought occurred to me. In a fall, once instinct is to open the palms. This is not a kid's game. This is rated T. That doesn't count. It's a kid's game. In a fall, this is not a kid. We're literally he died. He's a dead man. What? His neck snapped. This is not a kid's game. What kind of kids games are you playing? Like, I don't know, like Super Mario, and like, let's see. You're playing Mario Galaxy. Mario does a spin move. He does it too quick, gets whiplash, neck snaps, he dies. Happy E for everyone. Yet we see the victim with his left hand tightly balled into a fist. Almost, you might say, as though he were gripping something. What do you mean? Simply that I took the liberty of investigating the victim's fist a short while ago. You did? And what, pray, do you imagine I found there, my dear fellow? Mr. Sholmes, show us, please. Why, of course, my dear madam. Why would I keep you in suspense? Earring. This is what I found. I had a feeling when I saw that the earring wasn't right. A crescent moon with a little gemstone in the middle. Yes, you're right. A crescent moon. It is very pretty, but what does it tell us? Yeah, she's afraid. Look at her. This tells us nothing. I'm not so sure. That crescent moon looks familiar somehow. I'm sure I've seen it somewhere before. Observation, Mr. Naruhodo. That is the key. What? The truth is now tantalizingly close. It is. How did that crescent moon come to be in Kazuma's clenched fist? This is the final clue, the last piece of the puzzle. Ask yourself, what does this little crescent moon mean? What significance has it? And observe. Find the answer with your own eyes.
Boop, 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 boop. Gotcha. Miss Pavlova, on your ear there. I see you have a crescent moon as well.
Oh. What?
And on your other ear, there seems to be a crescent moon missing. A little link holding it on must have broken, I suppose. So she was in there. Now, the missing crescent moon was found in the victim's clenched fist. Suddenly, there is only one logical conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Miss Pavlova, Mr. Asogi must have grasped the crescent moon and pulled it from your ear. Perhaps just moments before he fell to the floor. In other words, last night, in Mr. Asogi's cabin, you witnessed the moment when the victim fell with your own eyes. In fact, you were quite literally at arm's length from him. But then the question is, why did Mr. Asogi do that? Why did he pull your earring from your ear and hold it with his clenched fist during his final moments?
Oh no. Angel.
No one can protect you now. Please, Miss Pavola, tell us the truth. Last night, what did you do to Kazuma? Gotcha. I would expect there to be a trial in this one, but I don't even know if there will be. When I think about everything that happened yesterday, it was too much. Running away, the fishing boat in the middle of the night, trying to climb onto this huge ship, and then, when I was at last in this cabin and I could relax after this horrible long day... Darka, wait! I couldn't believe it when she disappeared through the ventilator. I tried to call her with a little whistle. I tried waving her favorite toy. But nothing worked. Darka would not come back. What are you doing here at this time of night, Inspector?
Oh. I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine.
Oh. The young man from your country, he was very polite and kind. He helped me to find Darka, and he promised not to tell anyone. But then, when I had my friend in my arms again, and I was going to leave this man's cabin...
Just a moment. Sorry, but...
Oh, yes? I'm sure I know your face. I've seen you somewhere before. Ah! Ah, of course. You're Nikolana Pavlana, aren't you? The Russian ballerina? Huh? No, I don't know that name. My heart nearly stopped when he said that. He knew who I was. How could this man from a land in the faraway east know a Russian ballerina? Yes, I saw your performance in Japan. The beauty of the ballet made a deep impression on me. There's, of course he starts barking now in this crazy moment. Give me one moment. Okay, he stopped. But what are you doing on the ship? I'm sure I read that your ballet company was performing in Shanghai at the moment. I can't fool him. I have to tell him the truth and hope he doesn't tell anyone. I have no other choice. I see. So you've run away. Please, please keep my secret. Don't tell anyone. Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. He's going to pull the cord. He's going to tell the captain. Why did I think I could trust him? And then it happened. Everything at once. It was only a second, but it felt like forever. Wait! I shouted, and then... Darka jumped out of my arms, and down the young man's feet. And...
as he turned around to look at me. Oh. I pushed him. I don't even know why. I don't know why I did it. I was just so scared. And I had to stop him from telling anyone about me. Wow. And that's when you went to fetch help? From Seaman Stroganov, who was on duty out in the passageway. I heard Nina cry out and thud on the floor, so I ran to her. She was standing at cabin door shaking like leaf. She looked at me and said, "Help me, Biff. If they find out, I will be... Please, I have nowhere to go." So she killed our best friend just because of a slight misunderstanding? That's messed up. Just because Kazuma was being a good person, he died. I hate that. That makes me upset. So he decided to help, and that's when you arranged things in Kazuma's cabin to make it look like I did it. So that no one would suspect the passenger in the cabin next door? Yes. I went into the cabin and I looked around to make sure there was nothing to show that Nina was there. And I found the stowaway. In wardrobe, still sleeping. Right. That's when he found me. So he worked out a plan to lay out the blame on the stowaway. I closed wardrobe doors and put back strange paper sign. Luckily for me, that's the only reason Zazato-san started to believe me when I said I was innocent. I dragged young man's body to a good place and used ink that was spilling to write on floor. I wrote so that the person who found him would look inside the wardrobe and find stowaway. And tell me, what of the glass bell? It was by my feet, so I picked it up. I see. But it was dark in the cabin. I did not notice the other half. Then Angel went back to her cabin and I finished job. By pressing the emergency alarm button in the passageway? Yes. Accordingly, the SS Burya did indeed come to an emergency halt at a little after 2 a.m., thus enticing the bolt on the cabin door to slide shut, creating the locked room mystery. There's still one thing I don't understand, Miss Pavlova. What? Well, you said you told Kazuma about the fact that you'd run away from your homeland, and it's because you were worried he was going to tell the captain that you pushed him. Isn't that right? Yes. But even if he pulled the bell cord and called for the captain of the ship, aren't you friends with every member of the crew? Why would that have been a problem? It was what he said first. That made me scared. What he said first? What are you doing here at the Summit Night, Inspector? Oh. I'm sorry. I thought it was a friend of mine. Ah. He said that an inspector was his friend. Oh, yes, meaning me. Who was supposed... Oh, man, he's gonna be so upset about this. Oh, man. The reason why he was there was supposed to protect him, and that's why Kazuma died. Oh, that's terrible. I thought that if police knew about me, they would arrest me. So before he could pull the bell cord, May I stop you for a moment, Miss Pavlova? It just doesn't seem to make sense. I mean, was Mr. Asogi really going to pull the bell cord? I don't know. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo? Well, I'm not Kazuma, so I don't really know for certain, but no, he was going to the cupboard. He was gonna, man, he was a man of his word. If he told you he wouldn't give your secret away, then he wouldn't have done. No, he was walking over to it. He was going to pull the cord. He was going to make them send me back. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, the day's work is not yet done, it seems. There's one more deduction to make. What? Another deduction? The last one. What was he gonna do? Yes, what was the action the victim was really about to take at that moment? I know exactly what it was. Can we determine whether the young man's gaze was directed? First, consider the victim's location within his cabin. That's easy. I remember every detail of that room. I mean, yes, I spent quite a lot of time in the wardrobe, but still. That cabin has been my home for this entire voyage. So this is how the cabin looked last night, when Miss Pavlova visited Kazuma-sama. Yes, that's exactly how it was. Are you ready then, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes! There's one thing I've learned today. It's that a simple gaze can reveal a manner of all truths. And not only that, in order to draw the right conclusion, you can't afford to be out even by a little bit when you're following the gaze to where it lands. So when he turned away from Miss Pavlova, what exactly was Kazuma doing? He's going to get me.
Take that!
He's going to get me. Oh, it hurts. Considering everything that happened last night, certainly it may have looked as though Kazuma was going to ring the bell cord. Yes, however, what is directly beside the bell cord? The wardrobe. The wardrobe. And, more importantly, what was inside the wardrobe? The man's great friend, sleeping soundly. Miss Pavlova, please think back very carefully. What were Mr. Asogi's exact words last night? Give me a moment. I could use another opinion here. Another opinion? Yes, but not from a member of the crew. No, Mr. Asogi intended to consult his close friend on the matter. To see if, between them, they might be able to help in some way, no doubt. Oh no. Sadly, we can't know the truth for certain now. It's too late for that. But I wish you had made sure of what Mr. Asogi was looking at. Things may have ended very differently if you had. I'm hurt. Miss Pavlova? I want to thank you for finally admitting to the truth. But unfortunately, the truth is, a man lost his life because of what you did, and that will never change. I hope you'll never forget that. I'm sorry. Really. I'm so sorry. What have I done? And so, at long last, the mystery surrounding the tragic accident on the SS Burya was finally laid to rest. What will happen to Miss Pavlova now, then? Once we reach Great Britain, she'll be handed over to the British police at Scotland Yard. What about the fact that she ran away from Russia? Won't the Russians try to repatriate her? I butchered that word. Apparently, the English detective can speak to the immigration office and sort that all out. Mr. Sholmes can do that? So she won't be going back to Russia then? That's cool. No, I don't think so. Even if she wanted to return in the future, I doubt she would be able to. Yes, so she killed someone. She ran away, and now she's an exile for life. I see. I'm sorry. Seaman Stroganoff? I wanted to help our angel, no matter what. But I didn't think about you. About how you lost good friend. I will go with Nina. I will give myself to British police. That's kind of you. In the meantime, thank you for letting me go free again. Kazuma's death feels like such a waste, but... Well, do what you can for Miss Pavlova, won't you?
Da.
Well, I'm afraid you need to pack now. We're due to arrive in Hong Kong tomorrow. As much as it pains me, I'm going to have to hand you over to the council to arrange your passage back to Japan. Yes, I did stow away after all. I couldn't really expect any different. So, you should get back to your cabin now. Man. It looks like my study tour to Great Britain is over before it even begun, then. To think that only days ago, Kazuma and I were laughing together about how we tear up the streets of London. That seemed like a distant memory to me now. Oh, what's that? Is it someone weeping? Oh. Zazato-san? Naruto-san, I didn't know you had returned. Oh wait, I know accent. Oh, well, I haven't been back long. Inspector Hasanaga just told me I should pack. You know, ready to leave the ship tomorrow and all that. I still can't believe this has happened. I can't believe someone's life can be over just like that. Zazato-san. He had such grand ideas for this visit to Great Britain, so many dreams, and now they've been cruelly taken away, just as he has. I thought I could never forgive the person responsible. But now we know the truth. That was just an accident. Just a silly series of mishaps. That's too much. It's too much, Naruto-san. It's just too much. Yes, I know. I wish there was something I could say. Inspector, my duty was to see Asogi-san safely to Great Britain, but I failed, and caused his two closest friends great pain and suffering as a result. I have let everyone down, and I will do anything to make up for my terrible blunder. Nobody blames you, Inspector. And I'm free again now, at least... Huh? Surprised, Mr. Naruto? What is the meaning of this? Oh, a trifling matter. Simply that in my head I think I shall always picture you wearing those shackles. Without them, the balance seems all wrong. It's distracting. Sorry. So I decided to restore them for old time's sake, shall we say? You are a stowaway after all. He thinks this is funny? It is pretty funny. I won't lie. Mr. Sholmes. We do appreciate all your assistance. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Not at all, not at all, and though it's a little late, may I offer my sincere condolences. The loss of your companion is truly heart-wrenching. I hope that you will fully be able to fulfill some of his aspirations in his honor. I'm afraid that won't be possible. We shall be disembarking at the next port, in Hong Kong. We have to return to Japan and make a full report about everything that's happened. What? Wait a minute. It's just me that has to go back, isn't it? I mean, I was the stowaway. I don't think she really wants to go. The terms of this study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. It was to be one lawyer and one assistant. Was to be? In the light of Mr. Asogi's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. Oh no, I don't care for me, but... Poor Zazato-san. Yeah, it's one lawyer. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the sturdy tour can continue, surely. But there's no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer. Qualifications, you say? How do you think I'm a detective? Any qualifications obtained in your own country will be little value in Great Britain, I'm afraid. Oh, but anyways, the voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. Yes. Miss Zazato? Yes? Do you think perhaps I might be able to do it? But you're not a lawyer, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, unless... Are you studying law? No, I'm not, but... I'm sorry. In that case, I don't think there's even a chance it could work. But as I said, there is still more than a month before we can reach England shores. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I have 1 month in which to study. I almost hit my fan over. to learn what I must to become a lawyer in Great Britain. Mr. Naruhodo! That's ridiculous. Are you surely suggesting anybody could learn all of that in just 40 days? Well, someone's went around the world in 80, so there's only one way to find out. I would work my fingers to the bone, Inspector, every single day. Will you let me try? And if, by the time we reach Great Britain, I haven't learned enough to be recognized as a lawyer, I'll take whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. But why push yourself in such a difficult position? For Kazuma. He said that there was something he had to do in Great Britain, and that he would sacrifice anything to make it happen. He was passionate about it. I can't let all that passion just come to nothing. And anyway, it's for my own benefit too. Yeah. I will become a lawyer. I have to. What do you say, Miss Zazato? I think it's a wonderful idea. Thank you. Oh yeah. So, what does our bespectacled inspector friend say? Are you serious? 1 lawyer and 1 assistant. The numbers are indisputable. Oh, no, it's madness. Yes, fascinating, wouldn't you agree? Fascinating. Duty and rules are the dull routine of existence that we all abhor. Give us interest, give us fascination. Speak for yourself. Besides, qualifications are no measure of a man. What matters is his character. No? Yeah. He pretty much just said that he is not a detective, but he has the character for it. So, as you've witnessed ample evidence of this man's exemplary character today with your own eyes, from the early hours of this morning until the very moment now. Despite contending with the passing of his close companion, and despite the accusation of guilt, this man has shown resourcefulness, intelligence, and above all, courage. Very well. I'll think of a clever way to word my report to the Department of Justice. Inspector! After all, I did just make a promise, didn't I? I said that I'd do anything at all to make up for my shortcomings here. Oh, thank you, Inspector! Oh, yes. If you'll excuse me, I must pay a visit to the captain's quarters, I think. I need to discuss what to do next and how best to make my report. Are you really prepared to attempt this, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, I'm going to try. I wonder, would you consider teaching me what I need to know? Everything about being a lawyer? I would be delighted to help you. I am a judicial assistant, after all. Thank you. And, Mr. Naruhodo, I'd like you to take charge of this. What? Me? Are you sure? I'm sure it's what Kazuma-sama would have wanted. Its name is Karuma. It's a great sword. It's been in the Asogi clan for generations. Very well. I accept. I'll treasure it, always. So then, Miss Zazato, it seems we'll be working together for some time to come yet. It'll be an honor, Mr. Naruhodo. And for the next 40 days, I shan't grant you a single minute of freedom. We shall fill every spare moment with study. Yes, that's exactly what I need. But before we begin, I have an earnest favor to ask of you two. Goodness, what is it? Please throw me to the ground. 3 times! What? I should never have doubted you. You were Kazuma-sama's closest friend. Of course you would never have done anything to hurt him. That should have been obvious for me from the start. But I allowed suspicion to get the better of me. And no matter how upset I was feeling, it was completely unforgivable behavior. No, you were in shock. You just found out about me stowing away, and the cabin door was locked from the inside. No! I will not let you make excuses for me. Whatever the circumstances, I should never have thrown you. Not just once, but 5 times. The number keeps creeping up, doesn't it? Please, you must. Just take a hold of me and throw me. Do it. Don't even think about it. No. I don't even know how. I never thrown anyone in my life. And very wise, Mr. Naruhodo. It isn't a skill one acquires without considerable training. Oh, Mr. Sholmes. I observed your throwing technique several times with great interest. I confess I was most impressed. When did he see that? I presume that would be a form of Japanese wrestling? Oh, well, in a way, it's not wrestling, but my own interpretation of an ancient jujutsu technique. Apparently it's called Zazato Takedown. It leaves your head swimming, believe me. How beguiling. I am a practitioner of combative arts myself. I am a somewhat accomplished boxer. Yeah, do the punch, the 1-2, the pop. Oh, that was good. Oh yeah, you got him. There he goes, dancing around again. I wonder if you'd be so kind as to instruct me on the technique of your arresting throw. Yes, I'd be honored. Then let us not dally. Demonstrate, my dear madam. Oh, of course. Here we go again. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry? Hi-ya! There we go again. As you can see, you throw from the abdomen. Oh yes, interesting indeed. And this is what you term the Zazato Takedown, is it? Actually, no, that was a Zazato Squash. Uh-oh, here we go. We're gonna learn everything. In my groggy state of consciousness, a scene from an evening recently spent with Kazuma flickered into my mind. When he stabbed me. Karuma? That's right. It's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. I can't believe you managed to get permission to bring it with you. I mean, taking a katana on a study tour is more than a little irregular, surely. A Japanese man's sword is his soul, Ryunosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. So its name compels with its wielder to slice evil in two? Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. And I'll sacrifice anything to make it happen. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. That important thing he had to do? I still don't know what it was. Man. But I'm going to see that place for myself and work it out. In Great Britain's capital, London. end. That, man. I'm really liking this game. I didn't expect it to be a full investigation, though. That's interesting. Because I haven't done that before. Well, I guess, technically, no, actually. There's only been full trials in the games that I've played, so this is new to me. That's awesome. Alright, let's give it a save. There we go. Episode 3. There's only 3 more.